So have you loved someone and have you written a song for the person that you love?
Ooh. Yes. I would say that the first song that I've ever written for the person that I love was my mother. He knows it. I wrote Hard at Midnight in honor of my mother because of a song. Amazing Grace was the first song I've ever learned, and she showed it to me when I was like 3 years old. So that was kind of a song that I wrote for my mother. Sometimes I'm thinking about the music. Sometimes I'm thinking about the changes, Sometimes I'm thinking about the lyric. If I know the lyric, it definitely changes how I play. Sometimes it can be the movie. If a sad scene came on and it made me cry, I'd be thinking about that. I'm not really thinking. I'm just trying to play. Just play what I feel, and between each song or the type of song that I'm playing or the emotion of the song normally projects what I'm thinking or how I try to think, and then in turn I try to play that. Let me first say that I think that I'm a drummer by heart. I think about the drums more than I think about this thing. And if I would have slowed it down, I'd be playing drums in the Funko household. For all the records that I put out or all the music that I make, as particular as I can be on most of the drummers that I work with, I don't normally try to demand them to do anything that's uncomfortable. So I just tend to pick drummers that like to play the same thing that I like to play. And because there's similarities, now, for instance, Tayron Lockett, he's been with me for my Revival project, as well as my Funk Apostles project. And for the last 3 years, we just agree. So when we came down to this Funk Apostles record, or if just playing on stage, it's really easy for us. It's like, and because of that, it makes it very easy. So I don't really demand anything. He just plays and I just go, yep. That's it. Each and every member of the band has a very special, unique story. I've met each and every one of them within the last, let's say, 6 to 7 years. All of them in each separate scenarios, playing with different bands or with different artists. And each one of them, randomly, I just told them, I was like, man, I just want to do music. We're going to do some music together eventually, not knowing that it was going to be about the Funk Apostles or, before the Funk Apostles even had a name or was birthed, or, a concept. Sheree Reed.
Sheree Reed.
You play bass, right?
네, 베이스 연주자죠?
Right. You like this story.
이 얘기 좋아하실 거예요.
So, I was a big fan of Sheree Reed from YouTube. He had this clip of him playing about 2004, 2003 or so in church, and there was this one part of this 6-minute clip where he plays, it's 10 seconds, and he plays this. And it changed my life. So I got called to do a really high profile, big gig that he was on. It was a gig that he was on, and I was a new guy on the gig, and the gig was in Miami, Florida, and I get to the hotel, and we walk right past each other. Like, he didn't really know me, I didn't know him. We just seen each other on YouTube. And like 5 seconds, he turns around and was like, wait a minute, Cory? I go, Sheree Reed? Like, and that's how we like met first, right? That was earlier in the day of the same day we had a gig, and 10 minutes of this sound check in which me and him played a blues in A. Like, yeah. After this blues in A that we played for about 5 minutes or so, the rest of the day was kind of not good. It wasn't good. I remember it was like a really bad gig for me. I remember saying like, oh man, I don't ever think he's gonna want to play with me ever again. And I told him I was starting the band. I was about 2 months away from starting the Funk Apostles. And I called him for a gig and he showed up. I'm just shocked that he keeps showing up. So.
And Claude has a question.
You can't ask no questions.
Claude,
I want y'all to give it up for Claude from Take 6. Take 6. What makes a gig bad for me is just not being prepared. You know, like if the music is beyond my ears and I'm not prepared and I don't have any direction from the band leader, which made that gig bad, I just get really nervous. And how do I shake off a bad gig?
어떻게 나쁜 공연을 털어버리는?
Oh yeah, I know.
우리 다 그런
I don't know if
경험이죠?
that answer comes in a high school course or a college course. When I have a bad gig, I just I think about basketball. And some of the greatest shooters, you know, like now Stephen Curry or you know, I think about old school shooters, Reggie Miller, and you know, people like Michael Jordan and stuff like that. You know, like whenever they miss a shot, I don't think they cared that they missed. They just wanted to shoot again.
Yeah.
If I have an opportunity to play, you know, every opportunity I try to improve or, you know, not make the same mistakes. And if I'm doing that, then, you know, I can, you know, get better and want to play again, you know, as long as I have the opportunities. Most times I'm just thinking about, you know, the timing, you know, and, you know, if I'm practicing with a metronome or if I'm practicing with a record, that's probably the only way I practice. I really only practice with records. But the times that I practice to metronome, I'm just thinking about how in sync I can be and how I can fit those practices into songs. So if I take something apart and I work it out, I will see if like, okay, can I, you know, how does that idea fit into, you know, the next song I'm going to play for a gig or something like that, you know?